we're gonna talk a little bit about cleaning up and fixing your guillotine choke. So if I catch Alex's neck right here in the guillotine, I grab. First of all, when I set my arm like this, if he bends down to try to pick me up, he can't move down and he chokes himself, right? It works.
Yeah,
Perfect. Works. Hey guys, Mickey Swafford, Chattanooga Jujitsu Academy. Just got back from an incredible trip. Hito and Gracie invited me out to the Jiu-Jitsu Lifestyle Summit. We were actually in Topanga Canyon in California, right outside of Malibu. Spent a week training with Pedro Valente, Luis Herrera, Roy Dean was there, Jake Johnson, a bunch of guys, some who I didn't know before, met at the camp, a couple guys I'd known before, had an incredible time, about 26, 27, 28 of us, just kind of sharing jiu-jitsu techniques, working on some different breathing stuff, just all kinds of cool stuff. It's always great to connect with jiu-jitsu guys and share techniques. One of the techniques we talked about, which I was fortunate enough to see a couple times, I was fortunate enough to see Grandmaster Helio Gracie teach this technique in person, kind of have him give his details on it. We're gonna talk a little bit about cleaning up and fixing your guillotine choke. A lot of times guys wrap the neck in the guillotine and they go to lift with pressure inward like this. And the problem with that is you can make a guy tap from that. But the problem is when I wrap the neck and I squeeze inward like this, I still am susceptible to be picked up. I'm susceptible for the guy to drive forward. It's a little bit harder to finish the technique. The technique done best, instead, I'm gonna wrap the neck, just do it from this point, and then I'll kind of show you how I do it. Wrap the neck, or show you how we do it rather. Grab here, and then I want my arm to be parallel with the ground. From here, I wanna lift my arm up and maintain parallel with the ground status at all times. So in order to do that, when I grab my wrist, I'm gonna flare my elbow up high like this. And this gives me a little bit more structure and a little bit more strength. And then when I lift my arm, I'll just take my hand away so you can see, instead of lifting it up like this, you'll notice my arm's no longer parallel with the floor. I'm just gonna lift it up like this, keeping everything hugged tight to my body, and I just lift up just like this. So if I catch Alex's neck right here in the guillotine, I grab. First of all, when I set my arm like this, if he bends down to try to pick me up, he can't move down and he chokes himself, right? It works.
Yeah,
perfect. Works. So he can't bend down to get to a position where he can pick me up. It's real hard to pick someone up from here, but if he can drive himself down to this position, he can lift and start the process of taking me down. The next thing I'm gonna do to finish is just lift up like this. And you'll see from my voice inflection, like it doesn't really change. For me to wrap his neck right here, a lot of times guys on the guillotine, they start squeezing super hard, super crazy, anything like that. All I do is just lift my arms up and he taps. I don't have to squeeze hard. I don't have to do anything crazy, anything like that. Now I may sprawl my hips out a little prior to getting this, but it's really like, it's not super necessary once I get here to do any of that stuff. He's gonna have a real hard time defending. And again, I don't keep my feet super wide. I don't stay super low. I stay pretty comfortable, somewhat athletic, but pretty comfortable, base spread out like this. And then I'm just gonna kind of lift this in a straight line up like this. I typically close my hand. I had it open right there. There's a lot of different grips and stuff like that with the guillotine. The most important thing right here, we always say grab at your wrist. So if you shoot for your thumb and your index finger, grabbing right here at your wrist, kind of where your wrist bends, that's perfect placement. Here is, you're not quite got enough wrap on the neck. Here it's a little bit weak because you're grabbing your own hand, you're grabbing the fingers. The other thing that's cool about this is it kind of naturally shuts down one of the defenses, one of the most common defenses. If I'm here and I wrap Alex's neck, one of the things he's gonna do is grab my wrist and he's gonna throw the arm over and he's gonna start to hop around from here, and clip the knee. So if I get this set in prior to him starting that, go ahead and hug the neck. It's just kind of naturally defending that. The more he arches, the more it chokes him. I wasn't really trying, but maybe trying a little bit. So play around with that guillotine. Wrap the neck however we get it from standing. And then from here, grab my wrist. And then just make sure as you're lifting this up, don't bring your arm in a position where it's not parallel with the floor. We always say it's like lifting a windowsill, right? When you lift a windowsill, it all goes up together and it maintains that parallel status the whole time. Remember, when it comes to submissions in the UFC, that's a pretty good indicator of what submissions have, how much value and how much whatever. About 49–50% of all fights in the UFC through 2002 were finished with a rear naked choke from the back. That was the #1 submission of all submissions. The #2 submission of all submissions. It drops down substantially in the percentage of the total overall people that got submitted. It drops down to 15, but the #2 submission is the guillotine. So we've got to have a fast and deadly guillotine. We get it from standing. If we end up needing to transition to the ground, we can, nothing changes. But also in a self-defense context or in a sportive environment, it's never a bad idea to be able to finish the guy from standing as well. So again, a couple tips. Wrap the neck, grab the wrist, lift the arm up, lift the elbow high for support, and it prevents the defense. And then from here, I'm gonna lift my arm straight up. My elbow has to flare out for me to be able to lift my arm. One last time, because I can, and Alex enjoys it so much. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.